Welcome to the Variety Show, episode 5. As always, I am Joseph. This is Randy. We are here today to discuss the amazing things called relationships. We're going to change the format up a little bit. So, we're going to have a topic, not multiple.
Oh, yes.
So, we're going
Yes.
to change up how that is, focus on one topic, and hopefully, y'all can enjoy that. Or at least that's kind of what the direction that we're going to go to. And this is more for myself than it is Randy. So hopefully, this ends up being something that's progressive towards what we're looking at. So, as we always start, we're going to talk a few seconds about how our week went, and then we will move on to the topic. So, Randy, how was your week, buddy?
It was a good week. Good week. We had everybody in the office, which is the first time since like before Christmas. So it was nice seeing everybody, nice getting a flow going. Spent a lot of time catching up with the different trade shows we've all been to and talking about that. And so it was probably not my absolutely most productive week, but I had a great sales week for, as far as numbers go. Uh, So yeah, it was a good week. How about you, Joe? A whole lot of nothing again.
A whole lot of nothing. Like I said, it's kind of nice. What I will say is every team that I decide to like sucks. So it just seems to be the pathway of my life. So maybe I should just start, liking just random teams and maybe some of them will start winning. So who the fuck knows? So
So you only like losers. Where does that put me?
put you very low on the totem pole in life. That's where it puts you. It's a sign. That's what we're going with. Is the highway you're on is really fucking rocky. So
Yeah.
where we're at is the topic on relationships. Now, this one obviously is going to be very broad, going to be a lot of interesting fun. Who knows? Maybe we can even spout out a little bit of fucking knowledge for you all. So, where we're sitting at right now is let's see, what angle do we want to go with this? So, we're going to start it off with something a little bit more sentimentally based, and then we'll go from there. Just for fun. Absolutely. Yeah, give me that look. It's fantastic. So, what is your definition of love? And we'll go from there. So,
Wow. Wow.
you
Don't no lead up,
fuck
no
no.
foreplay, just
No,
right
no,
into it.
no, that's right.
Okay.
Just get her done.
Okay. Okay. Definition of love. When somebody's more important than me in my mind. When my feelings indicate that I'm willing to sacrifice for someone. Um, there's so many different kinds of love. There's brotherly love, there's familiar love, there is romantic love, there is, uh, you know, I really love the chili you made. I mean,
Okay,
it,
so we're basing it on the form of a relationship. So let's single it down to what
we can
is
get rid
love
of the,
within a significant other that you are planning on devoting your life to. How about that?
okay. Um, I have failed at this repeatedly, but for me, well, you do root for me like your team. So yeah, okay. From the perspective of a
True
loser
though.
at love, a perspective as a loser at love, yes. No, there's that. I mean, for me, really, there has to be that chemistry. There has to be an attraction of some kind. And I've decided I don't really have a type because that spark, that smolder, can show up. I don't know what dictates it. I don't. It's one of the mysteries of love. Anyway, it that needs to be there. I need to be able to laugh with the person.
Psycho
You know,
eyes. Don't forget psycho eyes.
yeah, Yeah, I mean, no, but I mean, yes, Psychoizer is definitely a thing for me. Absolutely. If I don't have a chance of being murdered in my sleep, I'm not interested. But no, it's yeah, and give me yours, damn it, you do it.
All right, so mine's more cosmically charged, right?
Oh,
So, oh yeah, yeah, you know me very well. I'm a little bit on the fucking sadly romantic side. On it's my downfall, right?
yeah.
I think it is when you find the reason to give up everything for a moment. If you're willing to make that sacrifice, then you're making, at least on your end, the correct decision.
That's
So
kind of yeah, that was similar to what I said about being sacrificially, committed.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's essentially love is defined individually, which is what makes it this fun topic, right? Because one person is going to love or look at love as more of like a convenience. Some people may look at love as something that longing for a lifelong partner. Some may look at love as something just fake and not real, right? And I think individually through our experiences, what defines what that is characteristically to your point of view. So it's an interesting topic, and the reason why I led with this one specifically, right,
Hmm.
is because it ultimately defines your pathway through it. If you view love as just a fucking pointless thing, then that's what it's going to give you, right? It's like anything that you put yourself into, right? If you don't
Would
believe in
anybody
it,
look at love that way as being pointless? I mean, if something's pointless, it couldn't be love. I mean, I think that even the most calloused, cynical, bitter old man is still capable of feeling love. I don't and think if oh well, love is pointless. Okay, then you don't know what love is.
well, I
That would
mean,
be the way
and fine, right? Fine, that may be the
okay,
case,
yeah.
but there are the terms that just people don't believe it exists, and therefore they just aimlessly run through. I mean, today's society kind of shows a little bit of that, right? Where it's kind of like society gave up on it because of the separation that we've had. So, what the fuck's the point of it if people look at love as too much of a self gain than it is actually emotionally triggered?
I think that's the small minority. I I
Fair
I
enough.
know what you're
Fair
saying,
enough.
and I think that is a tiny minority. And as far as the division we're feeling in this land, if you go out there, if you leave the front of your dual computer screen setup there and go out there in the world and see couples together, and I don't care whether they're young, old, anywhere in between, whether it's who's with who or who's with what or whatever, when you see a couple together that's in love, you recognize it.
That's right. And I go,
Oh,
those fuckers.
you rotten prick. I'm so
You
jealous.
rotten motherfuckers. How dare you be happy?
But no, I mean, I think that's part of humanity is we need love, and I think we need that romantic love. And I mean, if you look at the books, the movies, the self-help books, the on and on and on, um, yeah, love is a central theme in most of our art. Period. Whether it's a song, or a painting, or a poem, or a story.
So you don't think that we are swaying more away from the emotional side of it, with us being more focused on technology than we are personally?
No, because
Oh,
technology. Listen,
bullshit.
how many apps are out there so that we could maybe find love?
There
I
are
mean,
apps
it's a
out there
huge
so you can get your
industry.
dick wet. That's literally what it is.
Well,
I
yes,
mean,
and that is a substitute for love at times, and I'm all about that myself. But it I think that drive we have to get our dick wet, as you so eloquently put it,
Beautiful.
is our innate need and desire for love, and not just for receiving love, but for finding somebody love worthy for giving our love to. And I think that that's a close approximation, and at times that's the best it's going to get.
So where's your love?
No,
So where's your love?
learning to love myself.
Ah, okay. Yes, yes. So
And
we're
I'm
gonna.
getting pretty goddamn good at
Are ya? Are ya?
it.
One shot at a time. That's what I like to say, right there.
Well,
I'm on
this certainly
my
turned
fourth shot.
in a dark way. This turned in
Absolutely
an
going.
interesting
You are
direction.
looking pretty goddamn fine in that mirror today, there, buddy. I'm liking myself today. Um, so humorously, you have been around a bit longer than me, not completely, right? So if we were to do a fun advice column, what would be the one thing that you would give advice to? Let's say we had some younger viewers on what to or not to do when it comes to meeting the person that could possibly be your happily ever after.
I think one of the bigger mistakes people make when they're seeking a partner is they have a checklist.
Mm.
Is that they say they have to have this and they have to have that, and if that's a deal breaker and that's a deal breaker and that's a deal breaker. I don't think we know who we're going to fall in love with, and I think that checklist aspect just limits things so much. And not only that, but I think you could agree. In fact, if you don't, I'm going to call you a liar. That when you fall in love, things change. Things change in how you feel about yourself and about the world, and
Mm.
how you conduct yourself in the world. And so to say, hey, I want my life exactly as it is, but I want to be in love is ridiculous. It's no, you want to be in love because you want to be in love, and you know what? Things may change, and that person may not have all the check boxes, but by golly, I love
Well, and a thing to add to that, right, is that, and I tell
them.
people, the one thing that annoys you, which we all have those things, we all have those
Yeah.
few things that just annoy the fuck out of our, with your significant other, right? Is the one thing you end up finding you cannot live without, and that's actually probably one of the most special things to kind of back up your case is
Yeah.
that box that is unchecked ends up being the defining part that makes your relationship special. So you're
Yeah.
not like everybody else. You're not all of this. You're, you know, one of the obviously the traits that have gotten me success obviously is just essentially who I am, right? Driven, kind of a dick, right? We all know that fucking is such a thing, you know.
Kinda.
No, but that's what I
Let's
mean is,
Can we expand on that a little
well, yeah, of course. I
bit?
mean, but I am a dick, right? But I'm also a
Yeah.
good
Okay.
but
Thank you.
I
That's what I wanted to hear. Yeah.
yeah, but I am a good person though, right? So
Yes, you
it's a
are.
balance between the two.
You're a
Um,
genuine human. Yeah.
and so, but I think that a lot of people end up pretending to be somebody else. And that's the one thing that I just refuse to be. I'm not going to put on a charade or a show for you to gather your attention. This is me. I'm fucking awesome. If you don't fucking like it, fuck off. And that's essentially my perspective on it, right? And it's given me either successes or failures, either way. The failures obviously weren't worth my time in the first place, and the successes were successes, right? So that's just flat out the way it is. Um, as for when you were talking, you are right. I would. There's a part of me that wants to argue your points because that brings me joy and happiness. But no, you're right. It's the check boxes I think are ridiculous. And we all, both sides have them, right? It's not
Oh, hell
just,
yeah.
um, but the person that you might be missing that has one less check than you like might end up being the happiest thing that's ever happened to you, or could be the greatest mistake you've ever made. Goes both ways, right? But you never know unless you jump in the pond. So, with that being
And
the
I
case,
think you said a lot right there. You never know till you jump in the pond.
mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the whole point I'm trying to make, is that if you, in trying to manage and control your life to the finest detail, man, you miss out on the surprises. Life is full of surprises. Some of them are shitty, but some of them are fantastic. And you don't know till you get there.
you know,
And yeah,
well, and it's funny. So with any of the ones that I have been in, and you made reference to it, but it's relevant because I've heard it every time. So it's kind of funny. Every female that I've been with has always started it with, "There is something about you,"
yeah,
and it's humorous because I'm different. I am definitely a different man. I am grounded, but I'm also goofy as fuck. I'm aggressive, but I can be passive. So I'm like this tornado of bullshit, right?
yeah, yeah.
and it's
Can't confirm.
and it is fantastical, and I don't mean this egotistically, obviously, but
But that's
that
how it's coming off. But other than that, yeah, I
well,
understand. Yeah, yeah.
whatever, so you know they want, the audience wants to see who I am. This is who I am. I am a fucking mixture of the most nonsensical sensical shit on the planet, so just twist that fucking hurricane and let it go. um I think that if I was to give advice to anybody out there, it would be patience and understanding that you may not know their side of the story. And even though they may tell it to you, you are unable to process the way that they are feeling it. And I think that's what it is. Just be patient with the person that you're with, um, and give them time to evolve into what you're hoping is meant to be. And that would essentially what would be my advice on that.
Legit. Love is patient. Love is kind. Um, First two lines in Corinthians. Anyway, it no, and it is, and I think that when I feel the desire to be a better version of me because somebody's in my life, that's significant.
Mm-hmm.
That's love. That is. Um, Now, I'm not saying that I'm willing to change my basic self, but if I'm in tune with the woman I'm with, it's it's just a desire of mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an effort. It's just like, oh, okay. When I do that, she makes that face. Maybe I don't do that anymore. You know, I mean, and that's what love is, and that's the giving, the wanting to see someone uh, filled with joy
No, I mean it's a
because of me.
self sacrifice essentially for the
Yeah,
happiness of another, and hopefully the same thing becomes reciprocated, right? Um,
yeah. And I've been in situations where it doesn't. You know what? It doesn't last long because
so
they talk about love languages, and
so
you got to match up.
this is gonna be a fun one, right?
Okay.
So what is your perspective of love and then true love?
I don't know how to differentiate that. I mean, because again, I mean, like in the Greek language, there's like three different versions of love.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the English language, there's, the way you love your family, the way you love your friends, and the way you love your lover, and and or maybe the way you love a concept or a cause.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of different loves. True love, I think, is straight out of a fantasy. I
Hmm.
think that love is work. I mean, in this concept, oh, you meet your true love and you live happily ever after, and you never have to work at it, is pure unadulterated horseshit. We're human beings. We're difficult, and you know what? Even if you love somebody, you can be difficult. And if they love you back, they see you through it. And then they're difficult. And then if you love them back, you'll see them through that.
Hmm.
And I think the concept of true love is a fallacy. At least what I think true love is defined as.
So I obviously am going to disagree,
Sure.
of course, because it wouldn't seem like me without that. But genuinely, I think true love actually just happens. Um, it's something that was meant to cross your path. It's a gift. And I think that love is something that is exactly what you're talking about, something you end up working at. It doesn't mean that your relationship is any less than.
What's
It's
the differentiate, Joe? I'm sorry, but what would be the differentiation between I'm in love with you
mm.
and true love? Where's
So,
the dividing line?
in my point of view, it's the instant understanding and the instant acceptance without really understanding why it's there. While love is becomes more of a boy meets girl, right? It becomes a, oh, okay, and then you ask for a number and you go over there. There's a connection that is built over time, while true love is instantaneous. It just is there and then it evolves through that method, right?
Okay.
So
Okay,
that's
I see what you're saying, but I think also I'm going
both
to
are still
argue with you a
strong.
little. I'm going to
Yeah,
argue with you a little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
in that I think what the way I'm taking what you're saying is that true love is the pink bubble with the hearts and the cupid arrows and the beginning of a relationship when you first fall in love. And then when you get into the long haul and it becomes work, you know what? It's all love.
No,
I think the concept of true love is destructive.
it's not right. I think that there are individuals who cross each other's path that it's meant to cross, while
Mhm.
those who are on the standard version of love, is stupid it is to separate this, is something that you work at. You
It
work at
all
both.
turns into it all
Correct. You
turns
work
into
at both.
work.
You work
Yeah.
at both, right? But it's to kind of base it. It's kind of like going and building it or walking up in a house being built, and you just buy one, right? Versus one that you actually have to fucking actually pull out the concrete and make the foundation. I think that's the best way to explain it. Is it's naturally there, so therefore it's just an evolution of where you guys take it, right? Moving in furniture, et cetera, to be fucking dumb about how I'm explaining this, but versus going, oh, what kind of fucking lumber am I going to use? How much fucking wire does this house need? How many outlets do I need? What's my roof made out of? And I know that sounds very generic and stupid because not very many people get to experience the true love side of it, right? That to the average point of view, right, everything is just love. Everything is just work. Everything is just this, right? But there is that rarity, right? And it
I tell you,
exists.
I am 100% arguing with you on this
I know.
because I have never known of a situation or myself ever been in a situation where I was saying to a lady, you know what? I think we have something good going here. And if we really work at it, perhaps we could have joy and love. That doesn't happen. It's always butterflies and unicorns, and then the work shows up later.
Not always. There is a rarity. There is a rarity. So, what is the most fucked up date you've ever been on?
Okay, I got it. There's one. There's a standout.
Okay,
There
go
really
ahead.
is, and it was probably fucked up on my part too. It was a Tinder meetup. Uh, we met up for a drink. Her pictures on Tinder were obviously 15 years old and 30 pounds ago, which I was fine with. Okay, I can deal with that. All right. Uh, and we sit down, we order a drink, and she monologues. I mean, I mean, like I can't get a word in, and I'm a talker, as you know. I'm happy to interrupt you anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And she wouldn't even let me interrupt. And she had this horrible voice. It was this horrible East Coast accent, and just Fran Drescher-ish. I mean, just and I can't and complaining the entire time, telling just core dumping on me about her last relationship or whatever. And I made it to about 2/3 through my drink, and I really had not said anything at that point. And I just went, I got to go to the bathroom, and I never came back. And that I feel a little guilt for. I feel like it's a bit of a confessional. It was a coward's way out, but that was it was phenomenally horrible. I mean, it was. Although I did have a bowling date one time that went really horribly, but I don't want to go into that. I was young and stupid. Anyway, what was the worst date you've ever been on?
I mean, as a response to on your end though, before I state mine, um,
You saw my tactic.
no, I mean it's not. I don't think you did anything wrong there, right? You're not there for anything else but an introduction of interest, and when the person immediately is like, "Oh, well, fuck my life," you'd be like, "Yeah, but I like mine, so we're not vibing." Right? I have
Yeah,
a great life.
exactly.
You apparently hate everything. So I'm just fucking peacing out. I would have done the same thing. So no, I don't think you did anything wrong on yours. So mine would be took out this girl, and she spent the entire time talking about video games, which I like I said, I play my
Dude,
video
she was
games
winning
too.
your heart.
No, but so that's the whole thing is, and you know me very well enough to know that as humorous as that is, that's my escape. That's not my what I prefer to do 24 hours a day. But speaking of, we need to do some golfing this year for sure. Side topic, but just saying.
Well, we'll see if my shoulder can do it because last time it about killed me. But okay.
You'll be fine. So, Baxel. Um, I tried switching the topic probably about 15 times to anything. I mean, I unfortunately use the "what is your hobby?" and then that just fucking looped. So I'm like, well done, Joe. Well done. Um, it was just annoying, and I paid for the fucking meal. I did all the other shit, right? And we talked about it the next day, and she's like, and I'm like, you are the most boring fucking person on the planet. I would much rather shoot myself in the fucking head than ever go on another fucking date with you. Absolutely not. You have to have some element where I'm like, ooh, this person's intriguing to some extent.
I know that it's quite possible the answer to this question is yes. Is that what you said to her?
Yes, this should not surprise you. I am the most honest person you know, Randy.
I know I was expecting the yes, but it's just
Yeah, I don't give a
it's
fuck.
and I think I've been called an insensitive drone.
Oh, I
Uh,
know that I'm an insensitive asshole. I know that for a fact. I don't fucking owe you anything, right? I took you out for the chance, right? And it's both ways, right? She took me out. She agreed with the chance, right? And I agreed with the chance on the other end. And it's just when I'm sitting there and trying actively to be like, please, can we just fucking die? I don't give a fuck. Let's talk about fucking the building blowing up in 10 minutes. I don't give a shit. Something beyond this singular subject that I currently have no interest in talking about. Let's talk about other things. And I don't give a fuck what it is. It'd be Teletubbies for all I give a shit. But the idea, right, that I'm trying and it just keeps looping, and I'm like, this is all this person is about. Like, just genuinely, it's just I go home. That is all I do. That is all I will ever have, and the end. And I'm like, I'm not. No, fuck that. I have too much amazing shit with my life to live such a mundane point of view. You know what I mean? True though.
Harsh,
I know,
but
but you
true.
know, they'll
But true.
fucking live.
Yes. No, I kind of figured you were going to say, yeah, that's of course. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So let's move away from disaster dates. And what was the best date you ever been on?
Oh. It was probably humorously, it was just essentially a girl that I knew, and we kind of brought the be fucking honest about everything. It was just a game, right?
Yeah.
And you can say whatever the fuck it is, and the other person has to answer. It doesn't matter what it is, within reason, right? There are moral stipulations to this, right?
What's the
And
password to your bank account? Yeah, no, that's not a
yeah, and
question I'm
they've
going to
been
answer.
like, it's
Yeah.
called Go Fuck Yourself. 473. That's what it is. Yeah. Um, and it turned into finding out that both of us had a weird interest, and it kind of just evolved at that point without it needing to be anything much more than that. And so, yeah, I'd have to say that was probably my best date without it being a date. Actually, it's unintentionally happening, and I think that's a great way for something like that to happen. So,
Yeah.
what about you?
You know, I've had a lot of great dates. I really have, extravagant, whatever. But what comes to mind for me, and it wasn't all that many years ago, and it was a relationship that didn't pan out. But I remember we'd met up. She did, and we decided to go on a date. So we passed the first hurdle, and I think we just went, like, there was some event downtown. I don't even know what it was, but we made each other laugh. I mean, I remember sitting downtown. I think it was on a bench. There must have been a street fair or something going on, and just laughing so hard my belly hurt, and there were tears in my eyes, and she was in the same thing, and we really wanted things to work out. We kept seeing each other because we just made each other laugh so hard, so genuinely. And it turned out there wasn't that romantic flame there.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to continue looking for it. So we didn't just stay being laugh it up buddies.
Yeah.
But that is those genuine moments where you're connected with somebody through hilarity. Those are not that common, and that's the one that stands out for me. It was just, yeah.
That one actually, you mentioning that reminds me of the Meatloaf song, Two Out of Three.
Ain't bad.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, because I mean that's essentially what that is, right? It's like
Yeah,
everything about you is perfect, but I just don't love you. So
Yeah,
you know, it's a weird one thing that we need. It's just, fuck. So it's not bad. I mean, it's 66%. It's pretty fucking good. I mean, it's not
Yeah, if
like,
it's a batting, that'd be a world-setting record batting average. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, you take your wins and your losses, but um, beyond that, we're getting at that time, so we're gonna end this one
Okay.
with, if any of you guys have anything you want to mention in the comments, fun stories that you have had, maybe fun dates, we would love to hear about them. We obviously will, respond to those, obviously. Beyond that, Randy, is there anything else that maybe some advice or maybe some hilarity that you would like to show before we get off here?
Uh, I don't got anything off the top of my head, buddy.
Wow.
Like, subscribe,
Oh,
whatever.
Jesus Christ. That was, yeah. That's, you have anything to add on the subject? Yeah, like and just subscribe. If you were to love me, that would be where you need to start, is hitting those buttons.
Show us some love.
All right. As for myself, no, just if I was to give any advice, be true to yourself. Don't change for anybody. If they cannot accept you for who you are, then it's never going to last at the end, because it eventually will become a norm. And the person that they thought they were falling in love with ended up being a mask. And that would be essentially the advice that I would give. So always make sure, I know the honeymoon stage is fun. It is something that we all strive to have, but never ever change who you are, because it will end up being disaster down the road. This
Valid.
is the Variety Show. I am Joseph. This is
It's the Variety Lounge
fucking
show.
goddamn it, we're loud. I'm fucking up my own goddamn show. Jesus Christ. All right.
All right.
And we're keeping that in there, by the way, just so that the audience can see how fuckery I am sometimes.
All
So,
right.
just like Randy said, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can see when we're coming live, because we would love, again, to have that conversation with any of you. Other than that, y'all have a wonderful day. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday. Have a good day. Fucking ridiculous, dude.